Hi everyone, and welcome to week 5 of my card challenge, where I've been inspired by roxyfur here on YouTube and her Spiration, I think she's calling it now. So my inspiration comes from the book. Let me just go to, this is my e-reader, and I'm just going to go to my library. It's Delight in the Details by Lisa M. Pace, and she also has Delight in the Seasons. And I heard about these books from Roxy a couple of weeks ago, so I got them for my e-reader. I have a Kobo Vox e-reader, so it looks like this. And I find it quite handy, and it's a lot less expensive to get the books this way. So this is the one here, Delight in the Details. And the card that I've chosen to recreate, my version of it anyway, is this. I believe it's a wall hanging. If you look up here, it looks like they've got ribbon hanging through the holes there. So I'm going to create a card base for that scalloped edge to go onto. Some printed paper there. They've got some pearls and then some pom-poms on the bottom, a cupcake and the cupcake topper, and they've added, looks like some kind of stickles or something to raise up the cupcake, and they've done some stitching, actually sewing machine stitching, to give dimension to the cupcake liner. So I'll show you what I've done so far. To create my cupcake, I used the Cricut Something to Celebrate cartridge. We're having a party, and I used the cupcake on page 22, this one right here. I used it just in the regular format. I got the cupcake here, and I think this was at 2 inches. Let me just see, 2.5 inches. Cupcake was at 2.5 inches. Then I cut it again in the shift position to get this top so I could get my liner, and then I cut it again, the same one with the shift, in just plain white, and then I ran it through my Cuttlebug Swiss dots, you can see that, to create my frosting. So then I'm not going to use the sewing machine for my stitch marks. And then I was looking for a candle, so then I went on to there was a series of 3 candles, this one here, and this is on page 36. So I cut out in the shift position the candle base, which is right here. And I also cut out the flame in the layer position, and that's all I needed. I don't need that bottom piece because it's going to be tucked behind the cupcake. So let's get started in creating this card. Okay, well, I started with a craft cardstock, and I cut out your standard card size, 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, scored it down the middle, put that aside for a second, and then I took some kind of, it's a little bit of just an off-white, but it has a bit of a marbled, I don't know if you can see that, just kind of a marbled paper to it. So I cut that out just 1/4 inch smaller, and then I use the Stampin' Up! Scallop border punch and just did scallops all around it. And then out of the Abriana K & Company pack, this small paper pack, I've got both next pieces of paper, this one here. Oh, I'm sorry, this one first, and I cut it yet another 1/4 inch smaller to go on top of this. And then I cut this again just a little bit smaller and angled in to make it look like a tag. And that will sit on top like that. So I'm going to take some brushed corduroy and a sponge and just lightly go around the yellowy tag portion of this card. I don't know if any of you watched the Whitney Houston funeral today. It was so sad. It's such a loss, such a waste of just so sad all around, but the service they had was really, really beautiful. Really, my heart went out, though, to Bobby Brown. Because although everybody blames him for what eventually happened to Whitney, ultimately it was her choice at the end to do what she wanted to do with her life. And the fact that he had to leave the funeral and not even stay was just sad to me. I saw the video later on CNN of his son crying, because I'm sure Whitney was very important in their life. He was married to her for 11 years, and I'm sure those children, or young adults now, wanted to pay their respect to her too. So I just thought that was kind of sad. But other than that, it was a beautiful service and very dignified and very respectful of the family, and yeah, kind of sad. So anyway, you're just going to layer these pieces on like so. There. Then I'm just going to take some pom-pom, like this blue pom-pom here, and we're going to run a thread of glue and just run it along the bottom of this yellow piece here and just glue that down. So I'll get that done right now. I'm sorry I was a little bit off camera for the last part of that segment, but anyway, this is what it looks like. There's the pom-pom, and then I ran some flat back pearls across, and the ones I used are, these are from our dollar store. They're just called glittering stickers, and look at how much I got in here. Rows and rows of flat back pearls and plain rhinestones for $2. I thought that was, our dollar store is fantastic, it really is. So I ran a strand of the pearls right on top of the pom-poms. I glued the pom-poms on a little crooked, so I tried to correct it a little bit with the pearls, and I think that's okay. There. So next thing we're going to do is construct our cupcake. So first thing we're going to do is adhere this top onto the cupcake base like so, and I'm going to be using the two-way glue pen from Stampin' Up! And just put it on the other side. And there was also one little strip that cut out by itself that also goes on top of the cupcake right here. So we'll get this glued on. I am going on a vacation tomorrow, so I'm looking forward to that. My mother and my two sisters and I are going to Las Vegas for 4 days. We're not gamblers or anything, but it's just going to be nice just to all of us get together for our girls. It'll be a little bit more than a weekend. It'll be from Sunday till Thursday, and then one of my girlfriends that I went to college with, to university in California, just called me today to ask me if I had watched the funeral. And so we just happened to be talking, and I mentioned to her that I was going to Vegas tomorrow, and her and her husband have a home in Vegas. So she's like, "You're going to be in Vegas? I'm going to meet you there." Well, I haven't seen her in probably 10-15 years, so I'm really excited about that, because that was just not part of the plan, but a wonderful part of the plan now. So yeah, it's going to be a really fun trip. And my mother has a lot of friends in Vegas too, so we're just going to go get a little shopping, do a little visiting, just a little R&R, and just have some sister-mother bonding time. We got such a good deal on, sometimes if you really watch, you know how you can get a seat sale that includes your hotel, and my sister found one that it was just too good to pass up. So okay, so there, that's the first layer on top. Now I'm going to take the one that I put through the dotted Swiss Cuttlebug, and I'm just going to glue that on top to be my frosting. And I'll use this two-way glue pen again. I like this pen because it goes blue first, and you can see where you're putting the glue, and then that clears up when you're done. So just I got this, I was watching a video that Yoli Bean was doing, And the Cricut cartridges were so much cheaper in California than they were in Canada. So she offered to pick me up one. So this is the one she got for me. So I'm so appreciative of that. Okay, so now I'm going to get this card built. So first, I'm going to take my card and we're going to glue on our little background here. So we'll just pop that on like that. I'll just use my ATG gun. Get that glued on. This card challenge is so much fun. It really is. It just opens your eyes to so many different things, and the fact that you're not buying new things to create is just, well, I must admit I did buy those books from my e-reader, but other than buying the books, no new supplies. Just use what you have in your stash that you just thought was stuff you weren't even, I don't know when you're going to get around to using it. Okay, the next thing I'm going to do is just kind of lay my card here first, just replacement, and stick the candle behind it where I kind of want the flame to be. Now ahead of time I applied some yellow seed pearls. I got all my little seed pearls in here, and there's some pale yellow ones. See the little tiny pearls? And I applied some glue to the flame and glued some tiny little seed pearls on the flame. So we're going to adhere the flame and the candle first. So that should be good enough spacing. So I'll do the candle first and then the flame. I was going to use some foam tape to raise up the flame, but with the texture of the seed pearls, I don't really need to do that. So I'll pop that down because they're already kind of raised, just because, and I think I'll use this glue because if I try to squish this down with the ATG gun, I think some of the seeds might fall off, or beads, not seeds. I think I've been calling them seeds, haven't I? I meant to say beads. So there we go. I don't know if you can see it on the video, but the beads give the card this little glistening glow to it. There, can you see that? So pretty. So there's our card. Now, before I add the cupcake on, I'm going to outline it in some stickles. These ones here, the distress stickles. And this is clear rock candy. I also picked up these little flowers from the dollar store. They're just some little paper daisies. And I took one of the little pearls that was on that runner thing. Here we go. I'll show you. There were 2 left over. So I just cut a pearl in half. That's the nice thing about the flat back pearls. You just cut one off, and then I just placed it in the center of the daisy like so, and made a center for my daisy, and then attached it to the side of the cupcake like that. So this cupcake, it's not quite dry, so I'm just going to be a little bit careful how I handle it. So now I'm just going to take some bling right here. This is from the Michaels bin. It's Studio G bling. And I'm going to take the little ones, these ones here. So I'm making 2 cards. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So that gives me 6 for each cupcake because I'm making 2 cards. So I'm just going to add them randomly to the top of the card to kind of represent cupcake sparkles. Okay, so let's have one more look again at the original. I hope there's not too much glare. I'll try and hold the e-reader so there's not too much glare. So there you can see that one with the bling and the polka dots in the back, and a little flower on the cupcake and the ribbon. And the pom-poms and the pearls there. Very cute, very whimsical, very fun. And so here is my version of that same card. The pom-poms and the pearls. And because I didn't use a polka dot background like that card, I used a polka dot bow. And just lots of different colors, very whimsical, very fun. The little seed pearls there on the candle, little beads. And then I rounded the corner with my corner chomper 1/2 inch. And so there I have another 2 really cute cards from the Card Spiration Challenge by Roxy. And I really like how the cricket, the layering where you got that layer for the basket, for the cupcake liner. Can you see that underneath? So it's like the paper peeking through. I love how that turned out. So I can't stress how much fun this is to do. I think partly it's because you have something to inspire you or to get your mojo going with the card. And secondly, it's just so fun to just create and to have sort of a guideline. So I can't thank Roxy enough for starting this because it's just been so much fun. So here's my cards, and we'll see you next time, and hope everyone has a great weekend. Bye.